Sri Basaveshwara, called by people as Basavanna, an elder brother, was a 12th century Hindu philosopher, statesman, Kannada poet, and one of India's outstanding religious teacher and man of letters. He was a great prophet, and his greatness lay in his ability to live as a prophet and die as a prophet. Basavanna spread social awareness through his poetry, popularly known as vachanas, brief prose lyric. He rejected gender or social discrimination, superstitions and rituals such as wearing sacred thread, but introduced Ishtalinga necklace with an image of the Shivalinga to every person. He is also known as Bhakti Bhandari. Basava appeared at a time when Hindu society was at the lowest ebb. The religious and social institutions were defunct. He strove to regenerate the institutions with a missionary zeal and succeeded to a very considerable extent in his stuff. In the sayings of Basava, we find a harmony of poetry and philosophy of truth and beauty. He often enjoys the mystic moods and rises to poetic rapture and bursts into inspired sayings. Most of his lyrical sayings were born under mystic exaltations. In the mystic mood, he feels the presence of reality and is seized with real joy. There is much common between Buddha and Basava. Both raised their voice against the caste system and both emancipated women from slavery. Both preached their religion in the language of the common man. Both advocated the purity of character. Basava, like Buddha, strongly insisted on the sacredness of life. According to him, he is really high-born, whose compassion and kindness goes out to all living beings. Man cannot give life, and therefore he should not inflict death. Man stands on a higher level than other creatures. The tiger, the hawk kill for food, but man has no need of animal food, since the earth gives him enough from her abundance. He lays stress on the purity of food, purity of thought, and purity of action as essential for man's salvation. For Basava, salvation did not lie in self-immolation, but it lay in suffering for the sake of others. Unlike Buddha, Basava not ignored the economic side of life. He was a man of stern and bold action without ignoring the contemplative side of life. He was chief minister at that time. He forthwith set up a brotherhood of labor, preached the dignity of manual labor, and raised the status of laborers in the eyes of society. Basava was a friend of the fallen and a brother of the destitute. He dealt supremely with the labor problem, with the poor and the lowly. Basava had to face the problem of capital, next in importance to that of labor. In his brotherhood of labor, no member possessed any property as his own. There was a continuous redistribution of wealth, a constant reapportionment according to need instead of according to greed. The world is not slow in learning that his teaching of Basava is eminently practical and that wealth accumulated abnormally in the individual's hand become monstrosity. According to him, family is the unit of life, and that inviolability of married life is the essence of family. While he so practically upheld the sanctity of family life, he carried its idea into the wider social sphere. The smaller family of the individual home is to be realized in the larger sphere of humanity itself, for humanity is the family of God. Basava does not deny the world and the man, for he says that world is the workshop of God and man is his handwork. His religion is centered for man, the divine man. The higher self of man is to be realized and the lower self sublimated. Love is the best expression of true self, and all the virtues that emanate from love, such as kindness, charity, sympathy, and non-violence, are to be welcomed. Basava was meek like a lamb, but brave like a lion. In his personality is seen the harmony of humanity and valor, of love and power, of bhakti and shakti. He believed in the Shruti, whether it is Veda or Agama, but he did not accept every word of the scripture as infallible. Such truth of the scripture were acceptable to him as are true to reason and experience. He never favored the fourfold division of mankind either on the basis of quality or on the basis of caste. All men are equal, he said, and fitness is not by birth but by character. To Basava, Kayaka is Kailasa, work is worship. Basava was very fond of vows. It is said that he himself practiced 36 vows. He admonished his followers to lead a moral life based on vows. Basava gave a fillip to the development of cottage industry by encouraging the various occupations like farming, weaving, dyeing, and numerous other, which were then considered as base and unholy. He taught the dignity of manual labor by giving it a religious significance. Thus he laid a new foundation for the economic of the land. He had great respect and regard for women, for he saw in every woman Mahadevi, the Divine Mother. He gave to her an equality of status, an independent outlook, and freedom of movement. Basava never called woman weaker sex, for he knew that she is the reservoir of spiritual strength. He led simple life mixing with the common men, though he was a minister. The evidence of history and the trend of human nature would be believed if there were no discordant notes in the chorus of admiration elicited by Basava's work and character. It may be stated as a fact that greater the man, the larger the number of his detractors. Basava was also criticized by the calumniators, but their voices are now drowned. Today, Basava is acknowledged as one of the great prophets that the world has ever seen. He was the universal man. He left behind him a veritable treasure of poignant lyrics, and these have kept the vision of universal man alive through the centuries and will continue to do so till the dream is realized. Be not light-hearted with the saints, said Basaveshwara. Would you take hold of serpenthood to tickle your neck? Would you extricate the tangled knot of head hair with a flaming torch? Would you go swinging, clinging to the whisker of a tiger? Why are you bent on correcting the world? He asked, correct yourself, attend to your own body, attend to your own mind. His last prayer was, I did your bidding, take me into your bosom flow, O Kudala Sangama. And that is the prayer of the great of all times, who descended into the flesh. He merged with God on 30th July 1196 in Kudala Sangama. The Kudala Sangama has the Guru Basava's Samadhi. Postal stamp released on 11th May 1967, Basaveshwara, the reformer and statesman. 800th death anniversary. Once again, the postal stamp was released in 1997. He minted on 100 rupees and 5 rupees coin by the RBI. Basaveshwara is the first Kannadiga in whose honor commemorative coin has minted in recognition of his social reforms. The Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh has released these coins in Bangalore on 23rd June 2006. In the honor of him, President of India Abdul Kalam unveiled Basaveshwara's statue on April 28, 2009 at the gate of the Parliament House, New Delhi. All over India, 21st April is celebrated as his birth anniversary.